All right. I believe that is everyone. So hello, students. So we are going to do a little exercise that is designed to practice your Crossfire skills. So this will be somewhat similar to the SPAR debates some of you tried yesterday, in that we will be picking kind of a silly topic. We're not going to be using the main topic, and we're just really going to practice asking and answering each other questions. And we're going to start off as a group so we can do a couple of rounds and everybody can see sort of how this works in practice in a little bit more detail, and we can talk through it together. And then if we have time, we'll break out into subgroups and let you all practice that a little bit. So here's how this activity is going to work. We are going to give you a couple of topic options. So these topics are, so we're going to use 3 different topics. The first one is going to be, is South Taiwan better or is North Taiwan better? The second one is going to be, are mountains or beaches better? And the third one is going to be, is soccer better or basketball? So we have lots of people, so I'm guessing if we let you all choose randomly, somebody will pick all of these. So here's what we want you to do. So what's going to happen is we want everyone to come up with, so you want to pick a question and then pick your favorite side. So let's say I want to pick the mountains one, and I think mountains are better than beaches. So what I want you all to do is you want to come up with 30 seconds of just a brief, super short, super casual explanation of your side, okay? And then when we come together to practice, what we'll do is each person will give their 30-second explanation, and then we'll do a little crossfire to practice asking and answering each other questions. Does all of that make sense? Do people have questions about this? So again, pick whatever question you want, pick whichever side you want, come up with 30 seconds worth of stuff to explain your position, and start thinking about questions you'll ask the other person, because that's what will happen after that. We'll give you a couple minutes to work on that. Yeah, what's up?
Manually for 5 minutes. My teacher's calling for me for doing some school stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, thanks.
How are we doing? Give me a clap if you're ready, and a thumbs up if you need more time. All right, got a good mix. So for those of you who are ready, if you've already come up with your 30-second argument, start thinking about what questions you're going to ask the other side. So start trying to think, okay, what arguments could they make, and how do I ask about those most effectively? We'll give 2 more minutes. So we'll start at around, I guess, 11:07. Is that right? Yeah. All right. So for those of you who are done, is there someone who would like to start us off?
Okay, so I can go first.
Okay. Which question did you answer?
I will answer the question straight.
So soccer or basketball?
Soccer better or basketball better. Yeah.
Okay. Which side did you choose?
I choose basketball is better.
Basketball is better. Okay. Can we get a volunteer who thinks soccer is better? Did anyone write that soccer is better, and people are just nervous, or did literally nobody write that soccer is better? Oh yeah, give me some reacts. Give me some reacts. Give me a basketball react if your basketball was better, and give me a soccer react if your soccer was better. Wow, no kidding. So everyone likes basketball, huh? Wow, that's incredible.
Usually there's some pushback.
I mean, that is the better opinion. So it is good that you all landed on basketball is better, because it definitely is. But man. Okay, so can we at least get a volunteer to defend the other side, even if you don't believe it? And we'll give you some time to think about it, and we'll go to someone else.
I'll try it.
You'll try? Do you want some time to think before doing it?
No, even if you give me time to think about it, I can't still come up with anything. So let's get started.
Okay.
All right, sure. So let's hear from basketball first. So why do you think basketball is better?
And so activation, the first is basketball court is much smaller than soccer field, so it's more convenient for us to play. And the second reason is that basketball team require less people than soccer team. You just need 5 people per team for basketball. But if you play soccer, you need 11 people per team. Yes. So to sum up, it's more convenient and easier for us to make condition for playing basketball.
All right. Now let's hear why soccer is better.
I believe that soccer is better. As you can see, the former competition in Europe, which brings Italy and British, they bring all the excitement or money or cash, because by holding soccer competition, it can bring a lot of money, or they can bring really a lot of enjoy to those nations who held the soccer competition. That's all.
All right, nice. So some good arguments from each side. We've got some convenience arguments on one side. We've got this economic argument on the other side. So really, really interesting. All right. So let me pull up my timer. So you all will have 90 seconds, so a minute and a half, to ask each other questions about your arguments. I will start the timer whenever you all start, and I will tell you when you're out of time, and then we'll talk about it.
So who asked the first question?
So usually whoever goes first is the person who spoke first. So you can go ahead and start.
So I have 90 seconds. Okay.
90 seconds for the whole Crossfire. So remember,
okay.
We're taking turns. Yeah.
So start right now.
Yeah, I'll start when you start.
Okay, so you say the soccer player, they make more money than the basketball player, but like if you play basketball in the NBA, you still make a lot of money per year. It's still a high paying job. So yeah,
Sorry, but what is your question?
my question is that how did you know the soccer player make more money than basketball player?
According to blah blah blah, I don't have the statistics now. And usually, when they held a competition, and there are lots of money because Europe is a big country. Europe is a big area, and they will bring more than United States brings to the NBA. That's my answer. So my turn. Is that answering your question? All right.
Yeah. Okay.
You have mentioned that basketball team only have 5 players, and why that means it is better than soccer.
Okay, so my answer is that you don't find a lot of people. You can just find 4 more people, and then you can play. You can team up as a team. But if you want to play soccer, you need to find more 10 people. Yeah, so it will be more inconvenient for you to play soccer.
Time.
All right.
Oh, really good job of time allocation there. So I like that you both got questions and full answers then. That's awesome. So for the first question, I thought that, so like at first you kind of like were trying to make an argument, and then you turned it into a question with the rephrasing, which was perfect. So the first one you want to avoid, where you're just like saying a statement and then you're like, what do you think? Or I forget what you kind of ended it off with, but then you rephrased it and turned it into a question, which was awesome. So that definitely the second one is what you want to prioritize. And then I really like the question about, why does it matter if it's more convenient? So that's a good one to kind of get at an impact. Another thing that you could do is maybe reference, you could ask a question about something that soccer would be more convenient in, which is that you don't need to have hoops, right? You can play on any field. And so that could be another way that you could turn that question into convenience about something that gets you something for soccer.
Yeah. So the other thing I want to mention is, so this was also a perfect example of what to do when the other person doesn't exactly follow the structure. So the initial statement about basketball, right? That wasn't a question. And so instead of responding to the statement, what you did was perfect, was you just said, like, do you have a question based on that, right? That was a very polite, very quick way to get the Crossfire back on track instead of allowing it to get sidetracked into this, into something else and into just arguing with each other. So if this happens to you, prompting the other person politely to try to get them to follow the structure is it's a perfectly fine thing to do. And that's exactly what you should do in this situation. So really, really good first example. Nice. All right. Let's hear from a group that did one of these other two, because I guess we don't have very many soccer fans in here. So who has some thoughts about Taiwan, North Taiwan versus South Taiwan? Let's see, do we have Zoom reacts for North and South? Probably.
I want to give it a try.
You want to try?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think North Taiwan is better because.
Okay, wait, 1 sec. We need to, 1 sec. We have to find you an opponent. So you think North is better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Does someone think South is better? Come on, you all live in the South, so we got to have some regional pride.
Okay,
here.
I would like to try.
All right, nice. Okay, so North. Why do you think North is better? Let's hear it.
Okay, first, North Taiwan's educational resource is more than South Taiwan. For example, many Taiwan's top universities are in North Taiwan. Second, Taipei's MRT is the most convenient MRT in Taiwan. You can go anywhere in New Taipei and Taipei City. Third, There are many art and cultural halls, and where many exhibitions and performances are held. So I think North Taiwan is better than South Taiwan.
Nice, awesome. All right, let's hear it for South Taiwan.
So I would like to say that South Taiwan is better than North Taiwan based on first economy. You might say like North Taiwan is better because it is the center of the culture and economic. But actually, it costs more when you live in North Taiwan. It costs lower if you live in South Taiwan. The cost of buying stuff is actually different. And the second is about the pressure of the society. As we know, to be a center of, to be a capital of a country needs the people living there have more pressure with their life. But if you're living other places, like also big city, but you have lower pressure for your living in daily. And the third one will be the culture and the history. As we know, like Tainan is a place, a city with rich history. And if you want to be a tourist, or if you want like to live in a place full of culture, you would choose South Taiwan and better than the North Taiwan. Then that is my arguments.
Awesome, really, really good. Claps, claps, claps. Or wait, claps, claps, claps. Okay. So nice. That was really good. We've got some arguments about convenience. We've got some arguments about lifestyle, about culture. Interesting. So I will start the timer when you all start asking questions. You have 90 seconds.
Okay.
You go first. I'll be behind.
Okay. Can pressure group be something good?
Too much pressure won't be good things.
But pressure can make you grow. And you are in an age that shouldn't be just stay down, right?
How do you know there's no pressure itself? I just say it will be a lower pressure.
So you say it a little pressure is a problem.
No, I say too much pressure will be the problem.
Yeah, so a little pressure can make you be good. And the Taipei is a good, and the North Taiwan is a good environment for you to grow up.
I think you mistake my arguments. I said that be comparison with North Taiwan and South Taiwan. North Taiwan have more pressure, and too much pressure is not good for people. We think live in big city already have pressure, but if you live in capital, the pressure will be too big for us to hold it. So may I ask you a question?
So you mean that people shouldn't have too much pressure. So you want to just live in peace in South Taiwan. But I said that you are in an age that should be more active for your future. So you need to find some resource to make you, to push you be a better person. And the
How
North
do you
Taiwan,
know there's no resources?
All right, that's time.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
All right, so some really good stuff here, some not so good stuff. So really good was this line of questioning. I thought these questions that you asked were awesome, and the way that you developed them was really good. And I thought that the question you raised was an interesting one that the initial speech didn't really address. The not so good part is, since this is Crossfire, we want to make sure that we're taking turns asking and answering questions. So you kind of asked lots of questions in a row, and sometimes that's okay. I think in Crossfire, if you have several short questions, usually the other person will be okay with you asking like 2 or 3 short questions in a row, as long as they're kind of about the same thing. But we want to make sure we're allowing our opponents to ask questions too. In a situation like this, where your opponent is just asking questions and continues asking questions over and over again, I think it's okay to be a little bit assertive and kind of step in and say, I'll be happy to answer that after I ask you my question, and then you ask your question, or to do something like that. What you did was also good. You asked, "Can I ask a question now?" But if the other person didn't realize, then it's okay to kind of escalate because you want to get your points in too. So yeah, really, really good questions, really good answers. We need to work a little bit on the structure of the Crossfire to make sure that we're, following the turn-based approach rather than sticking with cross-examination. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
Steven, does that make sense to you? How you can kind of
Yes,
correct?
yes, yeah. I
Yeah.
am weak, but teachers told me to, so I'll just leave for another 5 minutes. Sorry. I don't know what's wrong with my stuff. Wait, I'll be back. I'll give you I'll give you an emoji if I get back. So sorry, I'll just leave for a while.
Sounds good. No worries.
It doesn't sound good. No.
Dylan, you have anything to add about that?
No, that was pretty much all I was going to say too. Is just make sure that you're allowing. So especially if someone asks you to ask their next question, that should always be a sign, because you don't want the judge to think that you're like ignoring them or like taking too much of their time. So it's really important to kind of pay attention to, if your opponents are trying to get a question in, to allow them to get a question in. And that's kind of the like respect and structure portion that I mentioned that'll definitely boost your points a little bit. But really, I like the content of the argument a lot, and so it was definitely a good thing to take issue with. It's just opening up some space for your opponents to talk is always important.
We have one more question that we haven't covered. I think instead of breaking up, we should do all that one all together as well. And so this time, what I would like people to do is, as you're listening to the exchange that's happening, I want every single person to come up with one positive comment. So one thing that they like about the Crossfire and the arguments, and one constructive suggestion. So something that the speakers should improve, or something that you think the speakers could do better. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So with that, do we have a volunteer to talk about mountains versus beaches?
Me.
I can.
Okay, I think that's two people. Okay, so
Huan Yu.
Yeah, Huan Yu, so which one did you say was better?
Mountain better.
You think mountains? Okay.
Yeah.
And the other person who talked, I forgot who you are, but are you
I'm
saying
here.
beaches are better?
I think beaches is better.
Awesome, nice. All right, so let's hear our statements. And remember, everybody pay attention and try to come up with one thing you like and one thing you think they could do better. So let's hear it for mountains.
Okay. Mountains are better because according to studies, green is a mild color for our eyes, and it can help our eyes to relax, and its benefits to our eyes. Second, and the air consists more oxygen in mountains than beaches because of the trees. Moreover, phytoncide is one of the special elements from trees. Its special fragrance can help our body relieve. In addition, a considerable trees in mountain release a lot of negative ion. That study said it can help heart muscle system function improve, and also body replacement system. So going to mountains can make people body healthy, make people relieve, and to reach and can achieve a stable status that spirit and physics both healthy. Okay.
Awesome, nice. We got some really interesting science arguments that I have not heard of before. Let's hear it for beaches.
Okay, so on my opinion, I think beaches is better than mountains because many people like to go to the beaches to relax when they are upset because the frequency of waves hitting the shore is the same as human breathing, about 18 times per minute. And this is why people often feel a sense of identity and belonging at the beaches. In addition, you can also watch the beautiful view of sunset, maybe with your, some special people, I think. And so this is the aspect that I think beaches attract me more than mountains. Yeah.
Awesome, love it. Okay, you all have 90 seconds, minute and a half. I will start when you start.
Should I ask questions? What's going on?
Yeah, so if the other person's not asking a question, you can feel free to lead it off.
Okay.
Okay. You said that 80 times circumference. What's the connected between the ocean? Can you say that?
Oh, the waves hitting the shore.
Okay. How about the waves? You said they have 80 times. What about in body? It can improve what? What kind?
It can make you feel relaxed and make sense of identity and belonging. Because when you are sitting on the beach and you just watching the whole waves hitting the shore, and you feel like, oh, the waves is following your heart because you're breathing the same tempo as the waves hitting the shore.
How does it function? You hear the waves, you hear the waves, or you see the waves are waving.
Oh, excuse me. Could you please say that again?
How do you know the waves are waving? It's from your eyes or from your hearing?
You can see the waves, and also you can hear the voice that the waves hitting the shores made. Yeah.
How do you know that doesn't make me feel dizzy?
I love that last question. Okay, so why don't we hear some positive things? So does anyone have anything that they liked from this Crossfire? Please share something you liked.
Okay, I want to go first. I like the mountainside that she tried to use some search and science evidence to prove her claim, which is more which is better than the beach side didn't give some science evidence. And I have a question to the beach side, which is isn't all the advantage that beach has is basically the ocean's advantage, because you say sunset is good, but sunset is which means the sun and the ocean, the sun going to the ocean is good, but that's not what beach do. And the wave clap the beach is basically what about wave? So it's waves advantage, not beach advantage. So it feels like there's no real reasons to prove that the beach has the reason to prove it's better than the mountain.
Okay, so yeah, I agree with. So yeah, those comments make sense. So the first thing you said, I definitely agree that a strong part of the first speech was the use of science. We always love to see when you are adding evidence and data to your speeches to support your arguments. It sounded like you weren't really convinced about the beach side because you thought that waves aren't really always connected to the beach, because you can have a beach without waves, and waves are not always on the beach, maybe on a lake or something. So yeah, interesting. Definitely something to think about. Let's hear from one more person, something you liked.
Okay, I can.
You go first.
Okay, thank you. So I really like their Crossfire because I've seen the mountainside. He really made a good argument based on the scientific study. So it made her argument more convincing. Yes. So and then to the question turn. Yeah. So the mountainside, she keep challenging his connection between body and the ocean. So he keep asking why, how did you know? Yes, so it's very aggressive. So I like it. Yes, that's my comments. Thank you.
All right, nice. Let's hear one suggestion. So something that people thought should have happened differently.
I think which one, the one thing that is better. Oh, someone wanted to raise their hand. I give a chance.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I just want to I just want to give some suggestion, and he spoke first, so so he first.
All right. So I just want to encourage the beach sides to state your rights to ask questions, because it will makes you a little bit disadvantaged in this situation if the mountain sides keep asking you questions, but you can get your rights back. So I encourage you to say maybe something like, "Oh, can I ask you a question now?" Or it will be like the last round when what happened in the North Taiwan battle and South Taiwan battle, the same situation.
Nice, love it, agree. Very good suggestion. Definitely defend your rights to ask a question. Sorry, I forgot who raised their hand earlier, but you can ask, or you can say your thing.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I just want to suggest that I know that they are discussing the spiritual things and something that is not spiritual. They are just arguing about this, and I think that mountainside could change it on another side to ask things, because if you keep asking this weird thing and you were stuck at there, and they are stuck at there for a long time for it is hearing or seeing, it is hearing or seeing, or it is spiritual or it is not spiritual, and it is a little weird. I think they could just change the side to ask the things.
Yeah, so that's a good point. We have a phrase for this that you might not know, but this phrase is beating a dead horse. So if you've killed the horse already, you don't need to keep beating it, right? If you're beating a dead horse, that means you're doing something pointless. Like you already did what you need to do. You should go do something else instead of continuing to beat the horse. So what she's saying is very good. You made your point, right? You asked your question, and you didn't have anywhere to go with it, so you just kind of kept asking the same thing. And instead of doing that, you can get a bigger advantage by changing the subject, because then you can make more different points instead of continuing to talk about the same point you've already described. Nice. Dylan, we got any final comments here?
So I definitely agree with all the comments. I think that it's important to kind of assert yourself into the debate and make sure you ask questions. That's something that everyone should take away, and it's a good skill to have, is to be able to say, hey, I'd like to ask a question, or I'll answer that after after you answer my question, or after I give a question, something like that. And then I also really enjoyed the arguments, though. I thought that it was really interesting. You're talking about like the fragrance of the mountains, and talking about how like the negative ions being released helps muscle gain and stuff like that. That's awesome. And then for the beaches, the tide between the waves and breathing, I thought that was really cool. So really, really clever arguments. So you all are really creative with your ideas. So I definitely have full faith that this creativity is going to show into the social media topic as well. So I can't wait to see that.
All right, I believe, Dylan, you need to go. So everyone, let's give Dylan a round of applause and thank him for his time. We can use our emoji claps. Give him some emoji claps. Good guy, Dylan, donating some of his day so you all can get better at debate. Thank you very much.
What I'm here for. All right, well, good working with you all. Nice to meet everyone. Good job.